I don't know. I'm just shocked. I just read on Reddit that Disney edited Daryl Hannah's butt out of Splash with bad CGI for the new release.
What did they edit in?
No, it's just, I think...
Did they use a fish?
I think they want... It doesn't say this, but it might say it in the post, but just off the top of my head, don't you think this has to do with their wanting to release the film on their streaming platform?
They have.
And wanting it to be family friendly. Okay, so you're more up to date on this than I am.
Well, I've seen it. I mean, I haven't...
You've watched the film?
I've seen the film in the past.
I've seen Splash.
I have not seen it recently, but I have seen it listed on Disney+.
If you were born in the 80s and you haven't seen Splash, then you weren't born in the 80s. You're lying. That is quintessential. But yeah, Disney, I don't think it's setting a very good precedent, because Disney's saying they're willing to make these kinds of creative choices just to force a film that's not necessarily oriented towards like families with young children. If you're just forcing them to be something they're not, using, like this thread says, bad CGI, and it's all economically, financially motivated. Disney's just acting like a mustache-twirling villain.
Yes, Splash is a...
Profits.
Splash is a romance, and it's about a vulnerable young creature that is living in
Billy Gilman.
a single man's apartment.
I broke my own rule.
There's a lot of weird sexual tension there, and I don't think that the theme of Splash is appropriate for families.
So
there may not be any nudity or cursing, but the whole idea behind it.
It was directed by Ron Howard, and I think at that moment it was like the late 80s, so he was just a few years out of playing Richie Cunningham, so he probably was trying to break away from the wholesome vibe. So he says, oh, I'm being given this movie to direct, and it's about a mermaid, but screw this, I'm going to make it sexy. I'm going to make the mermaid sexy. I'm going to show people I'm not Richie Cunningham. I can make a sexy mermaid movie. So I'm going to show butt. And I'm going to hire this actress, Daryl Hannah, who's shown butt before. So she was in Summer Lovers, and she was in Blade Runner, and I think she showed cheek in both of those. So she's going to be up for it, and I'm down for it. So I am this, wholesome, balding man who was this beloved television icon from the 70s, but I can direct mermaid movies, and I can make them sexy, and this is my statement to the world.
And this is what I mean. That is clearly what Splash is, and it's not appropriate for Disney Plus streaming.
So this is a bad choice.
Yes, but...
So the solution is, because Disney has a huge catalog of films that are sexy, so they need to have a separate area of Disney Plus for adult movies. It can't all be child-friendly.
Yes, but how would that look if they said, this is Disney's adult section? I mean, it just sounds bad.
And how far are they going to go?
They're trying to avoid that, maybe?
Are they going to edit out the sexy, dancers from the animated version of Aladdin? Because if you remember back, there were some sexy moments in those children's films. I mean...
I don't really like...
Little Mermaid, there were dildos in the tower. They were there.
I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm not that attached to the older Disney films. I'm not. I mean, from 90s back, I just think that none of the themes were appropriate for children.
That's a good sign that you are a well-adjusted adult, that you're not attached to films that were made for 7-year-olds. So breaking news.
I just don't think that they were made for 7-year-olds. I think they have a lot of...
They were, Mariah. They were made for little kids. You're too old for them.
No, but they're all about getting married and romance, and not even like healthy romance, which I think the new Pixar films, which are more about family and adventure, are more appropriate for kids. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm just, there's something creepy about stuff like Snow White and Cinderella and The Little Mermaid.
This is starting to sound a bit woke. So maybe we should turn the corner.